Hi YouTubers, and welcome to my channel. I am here today to discuss the book The Secret She Keeps by Michael Robotham. Now, he is an excellent author. He has a whole line of books with this he's a psychological thriller type writer. So I just found out about him based off of this book. This book is based out in the UK. The reader has an accent. The reader is Lucy Price Lewis. But I really liked her voice. She's very clear. You can understand her, and even with her accent. And the book takes place out in the UK, some place called Leeds, and then London. That's what's going on with the basis of the story. Now, my reviews are going to be to discuss the story because I just want to discuss the story. It's up to you if you want to go and get the book and, read the book or listen to the book. I got it through Audibles. I think it was on sale one day because they send you emails every day. Like, there's a book that goes on sale every day. And it might be like $3 or $4 or $5. And I believe this is one of those books. And so I went ahead and I read the little summary and then I purchased the book. So I am signed up to Audibles. I get one book a month. But every day when they offer the specials, it kind of lets me get another book at like $5 or $4 or $3 or something like that. So I definitely take advantage of those sales because sometimes you get some awesome books. This is a spoiler alert because I'm going to discuss the book. So if you don't want to know about the book, then you could stop it here or just listen and just let me tell you that it's an excellent book. It was written very well. Like I said, the writer, he is brilliant. I believe Stephen King is one of his fans, and the man has skills, okay? And this is not my last book I'm going to listen to by him. I'm contemplating to use my one credit right now to buy one of his other books, but I'm debating. This book was released recently, 2017 or 2018. I'm not sure, I don't have it in front of me, but so they have the technology of today. You're gonna have cell phones, you're gonna have tracking devices, you're gonna have things like that. So that's always cool. Facebook, they discuss that in the book because sometimes based on the era of the book determines what the technology is they can use to solve the case or anything like that. So the book is 11 hours and 58 minutes. Now, some may think that's kind of long. Me, if I'm going to use a credit, I prefer 10 hours or more. 15 is good. But this wasn't a credit. But anyway, I definitely prefer books that are 10 hours long or more. I listen on my way to work. I listen on my way home. If it's really engaging, I listen when I get home. I listen to audiobooks when I go to bed. That's like my bedtime story. So audiobooks, this has been a consistent thing for me for at least 6 years. So I definitely have a lot of content that I can cover. But this book right here, The Secret She Keeps, is my latest book that I just finished listening to it the other day. And I was just, it was just wonderful. Okay, so here's the part where if you don't want to hear about the book, you can turn it off, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about the book because the book is like crazy, okay? So, the book is about two women, one named Agatha and one named Megan. Now, Agatha has issues. Agatha has had an unfortunate luck on life. Okay, she grew up in this really broken home. She was Jehovah's Witness. Actually, first thing off, her dad left her mom when she was very little. And then the mom married this guy. He was Jehovah's Witness or whatever. They became Jehovah's Witness. she ended up going on, you know, the missions where they go and they knock on the people's doors and stuff like that. Like she did that with one of the elders of the church. Well, he ends up molesting her. She's like 15 or 14 or something like that. He molests her and she gets pregnant. And basically the church turned their back on her because he was an elder in the church. And so she ends up, they try to get her to get an abortion. She wouldn't get an abortion. And so she ends up having the baby, and the baby was sent, was adopted off by a family. And she had changed her mind at the time when she gave birth to the baby. She didn't want to give the baby away, but they snatched the baby out of her hands and they gave her to the family and said because she signed that piece of paper, she cannot change her mind, which is really messed up. So she had this daughter, and so the daughter has gone to live with another family. She's distraught. She's devastated. Oh, and then I forgot to mention, there was a baby brother. So her mother and her stepfather had a baby boy, and they adored him. Of course, you know, the new mom, you know, the mom has the new baby and the new husband, and that's where her focus went to. So she stopped focusing on Agatha. And so Agatha felt left out. But the little boy adored Agatha because that was his big sister. Well, the little boy ends up getting killed. He gets hit by a car and gets killed. And so that's when the family starts to like kind of be irritated by Agatha because she lived, you know, and that was their love child, their son. So that's when all, you know, then she, you know, got molested by the Jehovah's Witness leader and everything. So the church basically turned their back on her. And so she just kind of had a messed up life. What else happened? She, later on in life, she ends up getting married to this guy who seems like a really good guy. And they tried to have babies, and they had a miscarriage. Like she was pregnant. She was like 5 months pregnant, and then the baby died inside of her. And so then she had to, of course, deliver the baby, and she delivered a dead baby, and it's like really traumatic or whatever. And so, you know, she was distraught by that. Their marriage, you know, they tried fertility treatment after fertility treatment. You know, it wouldn't work out. You know, she would not get pregnant. And so then they finally just determined her to be infertile or whatever. So the marriage ends because they had lost that one baby, and it just, they felt like, you know, it wasn't, they couldn't fix it. They couldn't get back on track after that. So after the guy and her split up, this woman starts stealing babies. Okay, like she's obsessed, right? She steals this baby, which you find out later on in the book, but she steals this baby. And the baby dies because she don't know what she doing. And the baby just dies. And so she buries the baby with, you know, in some plot of land or whatever. Then she steals another baby, and that baby dies too. Like failure to thrive or whatever, because I guess whatever environment she was giving for them, or the baby wouldn't like feed off of her. Well, she couldn't breastfeed, but she couldn't get the baby to eat and things like that. So the babies always died from like failure to thrive or whatever. And so she was just like burying them. Like she doggone kidnapped like 2 or 3 kids. Like, but anyway, so she meets Megan, right? So Megan is married with 2 kids. And so she's married to this sports commentator guy. You know, they have a really good life. You know, this was their oops baby, you know, and the dad really didn't want the baby at first. And then, you know, eventually he came around or whatever, but he was a little mean about it in the beginning. And so the part about this situation is Megan used to date his best friend before they got married. She didn't know that that was his best friend until at their wedding, when he came and he was to be in the wedding. So she had a fling with his best friend Simon. So Simon is a gigolo, cokehead, you know, whatever. And so, you know, she was just like, they had a little fling thing. Then she met Jack and everything was wonderful, and they got married and blah, blah, blah. And him and Jack kind of worked together, whatever, in the same industry, sports reporter industry or whatever, and television and all. And so, you know, she met him at the wedding, and they decided not to say anything to Jack because he didn't need to know that they had had a fling because it was over or whatever. And so then one night Jack hurt her feelings and she went to Simon, and Simon comforted her and they had sex, and then later on she had sex with Jack, and then she found out she was pregnant. So throughout, until the end, you don't know if the baby that she's pregnant with is Simon's baby, because she slept with him and then she slept with her husband unprotected. So, you know, that's kind of the thriller throughout the book. And so it starts causing a strain on their relationship because, you know, Simon was like, my dad wasn't there. My mom wouldn't let him come around. He wanted to be with me though. So if I have a child out here, I want to be the dad to that child. And I don't care about your family. Basically, if that's my baby, I want to raise it, blah, blah, blah. Even though Jack's his best friend and everything. But so then Megan, she ends up meeting Agatha. Well, Agatha was actually stalking Megan because she was just infatuated by Megan's lifestyle. So she starts stalking Megan, and Megan, she joins this yoga class for pregnant women because Agatha appears pregnant. So okay, so I'm gonna tell you now, she fakes this pregnancy, right? So she straps this baby belly to her stomach and she starts going to pregnant women yoga. And that's where she meets Megan. And so then, you know, so she's faking her pregnancy the whole time, right? So she has this big belly, they doing yoga, you know, she meets Megan and she's like, oh, she, you know, befriended her, blah, blah, blah. Megan was like, oh, well, I got, you know, a bunch of baby clothes I can give you, you know, since you're a single mom or whatever, you know, come by my house, I'll give you some baby clothes, blah, blah, blah. So she comes by the house and she's just like, oh, she already had stalked out the house. She knew what it was like. You know, this was, you know, Agatha's like perfect family. She watched them and things like that. And so, yeah, Agatha it's not right. So she learns where she lives and everything, and they talk about when the baby's due, blah, blah, blah. So this whole time, you know, Megan's gonna get a C-section, so it's scheduled, you know. And so Agatha decides that she's gonna say she has her baby a few days before, and she went to Leeds, wherever Leeds is in the UK, and she was going to Leeds to have her baby. And so her neighbor was also pregnant and had a baby. So when her neighbor had her baby, she snuck in the kid's room and took pictures with the baby like she had just gave birth and everything, because the baby was a newborn anyway. And so when she was time for her to pretend that she had her baby, she used those pictures. So she sent it out to Megan and she's like, yeah, here's my baby Rory, you know, yeah, he's so precious. Look, I just gave birth and everything. But when it was time for Megan to have her C-section, Agatha set up a plan to go steal her baby. So these are your friends, right? So Agatha goes up to the hospital when Megan gives birth, and you know, they have the cesarean section. Agatha had it all planned out. She dressed up as this nurse. Like I think Agatha had light hair and blue eyes, and she put in like brown contacts and a wig on, and she put on platform shoes so she could appear taller than she was. Like she had the whole thing planned out. She had like a plumber's uniform packed away. She went in there and stole Megan's baby because Megan went and took a shower, and the husband was sitting there, and she walked in there as the nurse and was like, I got to take the baby to go get it some shots. And the father was just like, okay. The baby was only like 10 hours old or whatever. And so the dad was like, okay, you know how men are. And so the nurse took the baby and bawled out, okay. Took the child. So Agatha then took the child, sending out pictures talking about this her baby, but she, you know, she kind of covered the face, you know, to obscure, you know, the face and everything. So London goes crazy. They looking for baby Ben. That's the name of the baby. Nobody can find baby Ben. Where's baby Ben? You know, they locked the hospital down. You know, Agatha ended up like sticking the baby on this cart thing and then pretending she was a plumber. She had to change her outfits and like everything. She got the baby out of the building. She got the baby on the train and everything. And so she ends up taking the baby home. And, you know, she had lied to her little boyfriend who was in the military and said that she was pregnant by him. You know, she lied. She just lied. Like, she's a sociopath, okay? Like, seriously. So he comes home, and he falls in love with his son. This is his son, Rory. This is his parents' first grandbaby, Rory. Oh, and I really like the name Rory. It's really cute. So they're thinking that this, is Agatha's baby. London's going crazy. So then stuff start, her ex-husband pops up and he's like, yeah, bring the baby. I want to see the baby. And she was like, nah, if you want to meet though, I'll meet you somewhere. So they met somewhere and the ex-husband's like, well, how the hell did you get pregnant? Again, because they said you were fertile. And then what happened? She ended up killing him because she was like, oh, he knows. Like, she thinks he knows that her son is the stolen baby because it's like major news all over the TV outlets and everything, and stuff just doesn't make sense. Like, the doctor said you weren't fertile. How the heck did you get pregnant, right? So she kills him. And then so the death of him brings her mama into the scene. Now the mama is over in Spain somewhere. Now, Agatha done told everybody she gave birth with her mama. So the mama calls and the boyfriend is like, I'm here with your grandson. And the mama like, I ain't have no grandson. What are you talking about? And the boyfriend's like, you was there when she had the baby. And grandma was like, no, I'm in Spain. Like, what are you talking about? And that's when he realized like she had stolen the baby. But he didn't want to throw her out there like that because he was in love with the baby and he had fell in love with Agatha or whatever. So, he ends up trying to help her escape in the end, but she don't take it. So how about they throw a vigil for baby Ben, for Megan and her husband Jack, and because they're trying to like petition her to come out. They're trying to make her feel sympathy so that whoever took the baby can bring the baby back. And so this was one of the ways they did it. They did a vigil or whatever at the church. Don't you know Agatha had the nerve to show up with baby Ben? I was like, you bold. You gonna bring that woman's son to the vigil that's for him and show him off to the mother like that's your baby. That was bold, okay? And I was like, this woman is crazy. She's gonna get caught. And of course, later on down the line, she does get caught. So, yeah. So the baby starts to get sick because it won't eat. It won't eat the formula. Here we go with the failure to thrive thing again. Like, obviously Agatha don't know what she's doing as far as taking care of the baby because all them babies keep dying on her. And so this one ends up getting a fever. She don't want to take it to the hospital because she don't have the papers and the records of the birth and blah, blah, blah. But the boyfriend's like, look, we got to take this baby to the doctor. So they get in. The doctor's like, well, where's the papers of the birth of the baby? Baby got a fever, but the hands are cold. Like, he thinks the baby might have meningitis. He's like, y'all need to take the baby to the surgery, which there's like the ER or whatever. And so, she like, heck no, ain't nobody taking my baby to no hospital, blah, blah, blah. I got it. I'll give him the antibiotics. Don't touch me, blah, blah, blah. She rolls out. So that's when the doctor called 911 and was like, this woman can't account for this baby. And that's when they realize it's baby Ben. And so then the hunt is on for Agatha. Okay. And so Agatha, for some reason, decides. Now, this is the part I don't get of the story because I don't know why she ends up having a moment of lucidity. Because the whole time in the book, like, she's crazy, but she's not like crazy. She's smart crazy. But then towards the end, she has this moment of lucidity where she decides she want to give the baby back. Like, who does that? Like, that's the only part that made me question the story. Everything else, the story is wonderful. It's phenomenal. There's some other stuff. It's phenomenal. It's some other stuff in there that I'm not mentioning. You'll hear about it if you listen to the book or read the book. But she decides she wants to give the baby back. So she wants to talk to Agatha. She wants to talk to Megan so she can give the baby back to Megan. She only wants to meet with Megan and give it to Megan. Like, why all of a sudden does she want to give the baby back? Like, that just didn't make sense to me. Even the boyfriend came and was like, give me the baby. You hear some money. Go on a run. Get out of here. I'll find you later. This is where you can go. Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I just want to give the baby back. No. Like, what? she was like a sociopath like the whole time, but now all of a sudden she wants to give the baby back. That was just my concern that made it a little bit like unrealistic. But you know, whatever. But anyway, so she ends up giving the baby back to Megan after this whole slew of events. And Megan takes the baby and breastfeeds the baby, and he's feeding now, he's better now, he's on antibiotics, you know. So she takes the baby home, and Agatha had a gun and she decided she was going to kill herself. Well, they must have caught her before she was able to blow her brains out, because in the end she's in a mental institution. And she's getting help from, you know, a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever. And so that's kind of how the book ends. So, and then they find out, well, they don't tell you in the book whether the baby Ben is Simon's baby or the husband Jack's baby. It's left to believe that it is the husband's baby. But she told Simon, because Simon was like, I want a DNA test to see if that baby is mine. And she was like, no, I'm not giving you one. And so when all the drama went down, she finally was like, okay, because then they had to like get a DNA test to see if this other baby they had found was their baby and all of this stuff. And she finally was like, okay, I understand how Simon feels. Okay, so she does a swab of the little boy Lachlan, and then she does a swab of baby Ben, and she gives it to Simon, and she's like, look, if he's not yours, you disappear from our lives forever. So if he's yours, I'll tell my husband and we'll figure it out. And so Simon is like, well, what do you think? And she was like, it's my husband's. I know it's my husband's from the beginning. I know. And he was like, okay, well, maybe I'll hold on to these for a while. And she was like, well, I don't know how good the samples are, for how long or whatever, but you know, it's up to you. But you make your decision, because if the baby is not yours, you lose your best friend and you're out of our lives. And so he was like, well, you know, he'll see. He don't know. But he's going to go and get his girlfriend pregnant. So he definitely can know and be a father and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that's how the book ends. It was a really good read. It was definitely worth the 12 hours. And it was really exciting and interesting, and I definitely love psychological thrillers. And like I said, this will not be the last book I read by him. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you've listened to the book or if you read the book, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. It'd be interesting to read. Let's start a dialogue here. I hope you're not offended that I told the story. It's still nothing like the experience itself. You know, you get these audio books that they make movies out of, yet the movie can't touch the book. So like, get the book, listen to the book. It's like 10 times better than what I can tell you, 10 times better than what a movie can show you. So you get the full-on experience. So definitely check this guy out. The book is called, again, The Secret She Keeps by Michael Robotham. And the reader is Lucy Price Lewis. And yeah. And hopefully I will be back with you next time, and we'll review another book. All right. Well, take care. See you next time. Bye.